Welcome everybody. Today's video finds us north of the old capital of Ayutthaya. And we're right here. This is the Lopburi River, and we're going to take a look at a temple that's had many names over the years, and it's Wat Choeng Tha. And it was restored under the reign of King Rama IV. It was probably built, they don't really know when it was built, probably built in the early Ayutthaya era. And there's records about when like King Narai restored it and King Bora Ramat restored it. And it has a lot of history. But anyway, it's right here on the river, and you can go around the island and pass by here. You can stop if you're on one of the boat tours or whatever and check this out. Anyway, this is a really cool temple that not too many people know about. The Thais come over here and see it, but tourists don't come over here, and it's a shame because this is a real little hidden gem. I came here about 2 years ago and took a look at it, and it has a Khmer prang. It has a cool ordination hall that has some faded murals that we're going to take a look at, among a few other things. So anyway, let's enjoy this and let's see what we see. This right here is the Lopburi River. There's 3 rivers that come around here, and they circle the old island of Ayutthaya. This is the island right here. And then right over this way used to be a clong or a canal, and it had like the royal barges on it and stuff like that. And the royal palace was just over these buildings. You can't see it from here. Anyway, this is the canal, and they do the boat tours, and you could stop here if you're doing that and come over here and check this out. Now this is coming in from the river, and you can come right over here and see this old hall first. And it is really cool. And there's this little building here that is closed up, but it's an interesting style. You can see they put some bricks and stuff like that, and it's got some wooden shutters. But it is, I think it was a place for like some royals to kind of stay, but now it's just locked up. Yeah, you can see they have the doors closed and everything. And then right in here, this is the hall. You can see all the wood carvings and stuff up there. It's fantastic. And then this goes over to the active part of the temple. You can see the wooden doors, and it has the teak wood floor. And then it has like a throne here, so some VIPs and stuff like that could have came here and sat. And then it has the raised platform for the monks, and then a small little Buddha shrine and stuff over here. Now this was restored under the reign of King Rama IV, and that's when they painted these. So this would have been in the 1800s. So you can see how faded off they are. This is a shame because I really like seeing these old murals. The Ayutthaya era murals that are older than this are even better, but there's really few of those remaining. You can see the ceiling in here, and you can even see where they painted that wood up there. And the columns are painted. Oh, it's fantastic. Yeah, this temple was abandoned after the fall of Ayutthaya in 1767, and they changed the name to like the temple of like the grassy plain or something like that. But it goes way back. It had an original name, was like the temple. Oh, that's a squeaky board. It was the Temple of the Waiting, and the story goes is that. The guy that originally built this temple, his daughter eloped with a young boy against his wishes, and so he built like a wedding place here for her and waited for her to return, and she never did. So anyway, they changed it to into a temple. But you can see in here, this is really cool. So we got to see a little bit of the murals. And you can see just how faded off they are. What happens is the water comes up out of the ground and goes into these walls. The water table is so high here, and it does flood. So it comes up and it causes this plaster and the paint to slough off, which is a shame, but it's just the way it is. All right, so let's go over and we'll look at the 2-story hall, and then we'll go look at the Khmer prang, which is the highlight of this temple. You can see the painting here. Now King Taksin, they say, was a novice monk here at this temple, and he's the one that came back over after the Burmese captured the city, and he chased the Burmese out and then unified Siam again. And they say after he came over and chased the Burmese out that he stayed near this temple for one night. And that's when they decided that Ayutthaya could not be defended, and they moved the capital to Thonburi. See a little bit of the gates that are left here, right here behind this hall. And then they have a bunch of small little Buddhas over here. And then right over there, that's where the barges would have been. And then we have a hall, and I hope this little building over here is open. I've never been able to get inside of there. So we can see all the old chedis and stuff. And this Khmer prang is what we'll look at here in a sec. Now, the reason I'm going right over here is I think this building is open. And I want to see in here if I can. Oh, yes, it is. Haha. All right. So let's take a quick look in here, and then we'll go look at the other buildings. We can see here, see how the foundation is bowed? That is the Ayutthaya, late Ayutthaya, they did that, and it resembles like a junk, a Chinese junk, a ship. And I like to see that. Oh yeah. Oh, this is a real treat here. So it looks like they've restored this quite a bit. They've just put the marble floor tiles down and marble around the base here. And you can see the red teak wood up here. And this just has 2 windows on each side. And then it has a total of 4 doors, 2 in the back and 2 in the front. And the red teak wood, and they've painted the gold up here. Oh, it's really nice. It's a simple hall, but I really like seeing these. This is a great example of Ayutthaya architecture. You can see the doors and the windows are just the wood. They're not painted. A lot of times they'll paint figures on them. That's to ward off like evil. But in this case, they have not. That's really cool. And that's the old temple wall over there. You can see what's left of it. So this would have been the inner wall and then an outer wall. And you can see a few of the gates. Oh, and check out these little lions. So you can see they got 3 of them here on this side. And then they got a couple more on the north side of the building. And you can see how they've really maintained this. They've kept it really nice. Yeah, really cool. And these ordination stones are pretty new. They're not faded off at all. So I saw a couple of these little pedestals on the other side, but there one time would have been lions over there also. And then there's 2 here just ahead of that one laying on the ground. And then we'll take a look at this prang. We'll look at it here in a bit. Let's go over and let's look at the new building that they're actually using. So you can see there would have been 3 little pedestals here also. So this is kind of cool. So there's 18 small little auxiliary stupas right here. And they're in various styles. You have the little bell-shaped ones, you have the prong-shaped ones, you have the like the recessed corners on them, the square stupas. Yeah, it's really quite cool. You can see that one over there. It's missing the little top, but it had the little alcoves on the 4 directions for the images. Okay, so let's go into this hall. That's the one we'll look at, and then we'll come back over and we'll look at the Khmer prang. This is the modern hall. And up top is where they'll have the image, and down below here, this is Buddha quarters, the monk quarters. And then right over there is the main road that brings you in. I came over and started the video over at the canal, but this is the way you come in unless you come in by the boat. But you can't miss it because this prong sticks up and it's quite an eye catcher. This is near where the Burmese came when they sacked the city. They set all their stockades and cannons and stuff over right in front of the royal palace at Wat Pramin, which is just down the road. But this would have probably been controlled by them also because it was just right here. They got all kinds of little shrines and stuff here. You got statues of King Taksin. They have little shrines. They have places to buy amulets and like a little tiny museum thing back there. And we'll go up into this hall. There's a statue of King Taksin. Now I always thought that King Rama I was a novice monk at this temple also, but I don't know where I read that. I'm not seeing it today. Just talking about King Taksin. Looks like they have a little coffin. I don't know if you come here and you can make a donation to help the needy. You see there's quite a few ties here. Like I said, this isn't a place where the tourists will come, but the Thais will come over here and check this out. This hall is quite nice. You can see they've used the laterite stone with the mortar, but these are new stones. They're not like old laterite stones that were used before the Ayutthaya kingdom, like in Sukhothai and Pimai and stuff like that. But what a beautiful hall this is. You can see the octagonal columns. We have a monk over here, so people come up and get the blessings. You can see the paintings of the scenes of the Jataka around. You can see up there just some really nice paintings. These are quite new. There's where the Buddha was fasting and he's came across the middle path where he was starving himself. And then they have a nice little Buddha image right here. And this is an old image here. You can see they put the gold leaf on it. And it's starting to rust. That's a newer one over there. Yeah, really nice. You see some really cool old antiques and stuff like that when you come to places like this. And a small little Buddha footprint. And really nice paintings back there. And a really high ceiling with the red and the gold. Okay, so now let's go look at the highlight, that Khmer prang. And you can see the burning of the joe sticks. Yeah, that monk in there, he was wanting to give me the water blessing. And I told him I'm a Christian, that I just like to look at the temples and stuff. Yeah, I like to come over here and check these out. The architecture is always really cool. Okay, so now let's go look at this bad boy right here. So here is the old wall. This would have been an entry here, and they would have had a small little wehan there. And then here's the old bell tower. Ah, that's really cool. It's missing the top. And then they've added onto it. So the Khmer prang was probably built in the early Ayutthaya. And then they built all these other small little buildings like middle to late Ayutthaya era. And you can see how they've kind of restored them, put some of the wood back in. It's missing the roof and everything. And you can see the styling here on the outer wall. So this would have been painted white. And then they would have had like the lotus flowers up there on the top. And then this small little wehan here. They have a little shrine now. And this would have been like a little porch here on the front. You would have went up. They'd have had the support columns here. And you can see the little rail here. Oh, this is cool. And then this would have been the doors in. And then they have a seated Buddha there that's modern with some of the ones in the plaster. So they have some of the bases of the columns left here. You can see these would have been octagonal shape, which was another styling of the Ayutthaya era. I had some people that came over here to pray. Yeah, really cool. And then they had a huge Buddha here. There's the head. And you can see would have had that wood like flower behind him. Don't know really what you call that. And then they had some other standing images here. And then you can see they would have had little prongs up there. And then they have the niches for the Buddha images. You can just see one right there. And then all the pediments and everything. Oh, this is fantastic. And then they have another little standing image over here that's missing the head and the feet. Now what's interesting is this prang is hollow. And they have a little gate that you could go in. It's locked up now, but you could go into the relic chamber. And I wonder if there's any murals or anything like that painted in there. You can see some of the wood that's left. That's mostly rotted off, and some of the Buddha fragments. But yeah, it's locked up. Otherwise, I would go in there and take a look at it. You see here how this was bowed also. And we'll kind of go around it here clockwise. We started on the south, and then this is on the west side here. You can see a couple more of the little images. And this building here mostly is gone. A little bit of the walls. You can see another one of the standing images there, and then a seated Buddha. And it has the staff of Shiva up at the top. Really, really cool. Yeah, there was a couple different eras where they built these Khmer style prongs here in Ayutthaya. The early Ayutthaya, you saw it quite a bit. And then later on, in like the 1500s or so, they had a resurgence and they built several of these again. And there's, I don't know, there's probably half a dozen or so in Ayutthaya that are this style. You see here, this had some small little columns here, and then what's left of a seated Buddha. And then those little windows, so that would have been that relic chamber. And a standing image. And I guess that was kind of looted over the years. People went in there and they dug out all the treasures out of here. Okay, let's go on to the north side now. We got the old Bodhi tree here. You can still see quite a bit of the plaster work. So they did all these bricks, they styled it, then they put the plaster, and then it would have been whitewashed white. And in here, okay, so we have what's left of a couple more of the standing Buddhas. You can see the window into that relic chamber. And up here we got some birds nested. And quite a bit of this column is here. So you can see it's octagon with the plaster. And then a couple of the images. Not much else left in here. And our last little one here. You can see what's left of the stairs and then this little building. So these would have been 4 little mandibles on each of the cardinal directions. And it looks like they would have had a pretty good sized image here. That's all gone now. And a little bit of the alcoves for some of the standing images. Yeah, really a brilliant little temple. And you can see what's left of the columns. These are weathered so bad. You can see though, this was an octagon, but it's weathered so bad that it's almost round now. One more last look here. So there's that first hall we looked in. And then over here, this is that modern building with the laterite stones. That's the 2-story building. And then some of these little chedis. And then the main prong. That's fantastic. And it had this huge, huge wehan here in front of it. And then this small little tiny late Ayutthaya style ubasod or ordination hall. And then some of these small little minor prongs and chedis out here. You can see how they did these auxiliary chedis. Yeah, really a nice temple. That'll finish up our video over here at this Wat Choeng Tha, I think is how you say it. This is a temple that's had many names over the years, and I'll put the best description that I can in the video so you can read a little bit more about it. There's a lot to talk about here with this temple, with the old Thai kings and then Rama IV and the Khmer prong, stuff like that. So if you want to read a little bit more about it, I'll put it in the description so you can. And if you know more about it, the things that I haven't talked about, leave me a comment down below. Also, I would like to learn a little bit more about it. This is a great little temple north of the old island of Ayutthaya, and I would definitely recommend if you're over here to come over here and check it out. It's worth your time. You're not going to have the crowds like you would at some of the old, like the bigger ruins, Wat Mahahat and all of those. So hopefully you get a chance to visit it, and hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, definitely smash the like button. Leave me a comment down below. Tell me what you think if you've enjoyed this. If you know more about it, tell me. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe, stick around. And until next time, from over here in Ayutthaya, remember, life is a journey. Until next time, enjoy.